Alright, cats and kittens. I'm not feeling great today. I was kind of stoked when I woke up and saw that I lost almost 6 pounds, like 4 ounces short of 6 pounds. So now I'm drowning my sorrows in the snack that smiles back. Goldfish. I just feel like I'm not good at making videos. I have no visual artistic skill. I'm more of a words person. In the immortal words of Willy Wonka, a little nonsense now and then is relished by the wisest men. Maybe someone else said that. I like to be silly. I like to be playful. I'm not a button down kind of guy. You know, I really think it's difficult to get a handle on the visual medium and tell what looks good and what doesn't look good. Right now I'm just hanging out in my bedroom because I have a huge window. I'm just feeling kind of down in general, just feeling kind of defeated. So basically for breakfast, I grabbed yet another piece of chocolate out of the cabinet and plopped it in my mouth. And I lost the battle against peanut butter and jelly at lunchtime again. Okay? Now, if I can't win the battle between my will and a gelatinous purple goo, what kind of X-Man would I be? What kind of Avenger or Ghostbuster? Not a very good one. So, I was going to tell you guys sort of more about my background, how I ended up where I am, and all of that today, so you can get to know me a little bit better, aside from that I have a compulsion for peanut butter and jelly. And by the way, Goober Grape, like peanut butter and jelly together, it's just not delicious. I think it has some, like, they put a weird preservative in it that makes the peanut butter have a weird texture. What is it? Why doesn't Goober Grape work? Because on paper, that's a winner. Whoever invented that idea walked into the, J.M. Smucker's company and was like, I've got $1 million idea. I mean, it's a genius, but whoever the food scientist was that tinkered with the formula, not so good, Al. So anyway, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, who I am, what I do. I'm a stay-at-home mom. I never really intended to do this. I never really intended to do anything other than be in the arts somehow. I wanted to be famous. I wanted to be Joan Jett when I was a kid. When I was 7, like, I was a big old nerd. But I really liked MTV. Like, I intended to be a rock star. Rock star. I really did. I intended to be Pat Benatar, Joan Jett. Joan Jett was really my hero. My mom used to say, you can't tie a bandana around your wrist. You don't know if that means something. Do you remember the era of it means something? Like what ear you wore your earring in or whatever, it meant something? Yeah, so my mom was really concerned about that. So I wasn't allowed to, dress like Joan Jett. But yeah, I mean, I asked for a guitar when I was 7 years old, and my mom told me that I could have one, but only if I lost weight. And she pulled one out of a magazine, I think it was Rolling Stone ad, that I brought to her and showed her the guitar I wanted. And she put it up on the refrigerator. Pretty much anything I asked for like that turned into a reward for losing weight when I was a kid. So it was tough. I didn't, actually get a guitar until I went to a pawn shop and got one myself. And when I was, in my teens and that sort of thing. I was into acting when I was in junior high and high school. I always joined speech team in junior high, but was never really good at following through with rehearsals and getting good at it because I had really intense stage fright even then. So I never went to competitions. I always kind of quietly snuck off before it was time to really compete. I joined like acting classes and acting for teens class at the local children's theater that I did for a couple of years in junior high. And I was always, really into being creative, being a performer. I really thought I would always be famous. And, life just kind of got away from me. And I find myself here where, I'm staying home with my kids. I'm in the house a lot because we only have one car. And it's really difficult. I don't interact with many adults. I mean, I have a neighbor next door who I, see when our kids are outside playing. But aside from that, I really don't see any real adult people on a day-to-day basis. And that gets tough after a while. It really does. I was in a long-term relationship for 6 years that, was not the right relationship for either one of us for lots of reasons. But it really took a toll on my self-esteem because I allowed myself to be there even though I knew I didn't belong there, and I did a lot of crazy stuff to make that relationship work and to stay there when I shouldn't have. It really changed everything. I happened upon my husband just by random chance. A girl brought him to my house. Sort of for the first time met another person who was like me in these very specific ways. I memorize a lot of facts, and so does my husband. Kind of a pop culture junkie in a way that disturbs people. And so is my husband. My husband doesn't just know the names of a few in cartoon character voices. He knows them all. He's memorized the bio of every voice actor in Hollywood. And we kind of rib each other in sort of a, sarcastic, pokey, defense mechanism-y kind of way, in a similar way. And I just immediately recognized him as another one of me. And I mean, our early dating life was a struggle, but, and I'll talk about that sometime, but now, my weight is never, my weight's never an issue. He never has made me, over the course of our marriage, feel bad about how I look or anything like that. And that's amazing. I come from a family where I grew up with 8 kids, the youngest of mix and match family, lots of marriages, lots of divorces, a few adoptions, unofficial adoptions. Yeah, so I was the youngest of the kids I grew up with. My parents got divorced when I was 8. My dad has 2 more kids, so I have 2 younger brothers who grew up across the country. Yeah, it's difficult. It was difficult being the youngest to have a brother who picked on me pretty consistently when I was a kid, and he tortured me about my weight. Absolutely tortured me, and still doesn't like me as an adult. And I'm not sure if, my weight's the cause of that or not, but that's a whole different thing. But yeah, and then my brother pretty well tortured me, and school was hard for me, but not because I was made fun of so much as, I developed sort of a school phobia. I've always had sort of, abandonment issues. And I mean, I think I was born with abandonment issues, which is very strange. My grandmother took care of me a lot of the time when I was a kid. There was always someone around. There was life, music, energy in our house. There was a lot of humor, but also a lot of fighting and a lot of disagreement and a lot of dramatic discord. I went to a holistic doctor when I was a kid who told me that if I didn't lose weight, nobody would ever like me, which was a complete mindfuck to me at 8 years old. He said that my personality was a problem, and that even if I lost weight, if I didn't get my personality under control, kids still wouldn't like me. My mother told me a lot that I was obnoxious because I laugh really loud and I'm just kind of a boisterous person. I'm going to start crying all over again because when I realized that the boisterousness was just inherent to who I am, having been told that being loud and trying to be noticed was the thing that was putting people off and not the ideal of how I should look was devastating because I couldn't do anything about what I was on the outside. And I couldn't do anything about who I was on the inside. My mother gave me a card once with a unicorn on the front, which just a few years ago I found in a box, and I tore it up and I threw it away because the front of the card was my mother telling me all these things about myself that were so complimentary. You're wonderful, smart, energetic, creative. And then on the back it said, but you really need to get that loud laughing under control. Also, we'll go on a diet together. We'll do it together and everything will be okay. So, yeah. The messages have always been clear that being who I am isn't okay. And just now at 40, I'm trying to get to a place where being who I am is okay with me, and I'm not looking for approval from anyone else. It's nice that my husband likes me and doesn't degrade me or judge me. It's nice that I no longer have to worry about whether or not my mom thinks I'm likable. But in order to get straight with me, I have to be healthy enough to live my life so that I don't continue to set my children up for failure in their lives. So that's where we are. So today I've lost 6 pounds, guys. I know it may not seem like much, but it is a starting point. Calorie counting's working for me so far. I can't say that I'm eating the healthiest. I haven't been, no battery. I haven't been making the smartest food choices. I totally plopped turkey and a candy bar in my mouth for breakfast this morning. Another miniature candy bar. So that's bad. And I don't have heaps of calories left at this point in the day, but I do have Goldfish. They only smile back till you bite their heads off. Yeah, I have Goldfish. Let's see if I can catch one in my mouth. Winner, chicken dinner! Yeah! So, tomorrow we're going to talk about the diet judging criteria. The criteria by which we're going to judge how successful a diet is. Someone asked me today, you know, some diets take a while to work. Why do you think a week's long enough to assess? Well, it's pretty much all I have if I want to get in as many diets as I can in a year. So, I'm going to talk to you about whether actual weight lost is really a fair assessment. How we're going to assess whether I feel like I could stay on a diet long term, that sort of thing. And really, you know, the scale by which each diet will be judged. Well, I'm going to address all that tomorrow. So tune back in and we'll see if I lost any more weight overnight. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Listen, if you like what I'm doing here, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, tell your friends about it. Follow me on Twitter, follow me on Tumblr. All that information is down in the info. And you can also follow me. I'm JanieRock on myfitnesspal. So you can follow my calorie tracking and my weight loss and all of that stuff. Like I said, I don't profess to be an expert. You're just coming along with a flawed dieter for the ride. I hope to see you guys soon. Thanks for stopping in today. Bye-bye.